Hey folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. We're doing a very special on the road Mike's Instant Movie Review. The streets are practically empty. It's early in the morning. I'm driving alone and I wanted to speak to you, the one subscriber, or the one, do I have one subscriber? I hope not. One Mike Messier subscriber. I want to turn the lights off. You can't see my beautiful face, but trust me, I'm here with you. Just listen to my wonderful voice. The Beast Within is the movie that I saw tonight, and the reason why I wanted to do this review so urgently is I do feel that this movie is being overshadowed, by the Deadpool and Wolverine experience. That movie, as well as the Olympics, are taking up a lot of the screens in the theaters, and something like this one, a horror film, not the most star-studded cast, some familiar faces, some new faces. The Beast Within. If you're a horror fan, you want to see this one. If you consider yourself a goth chick or a goth guy or a goth person of any kind, or like folklore and so forth, I think you'll enjoy it. I enjoyed it. For people that get a little squeamish, this is not the most, goriest, gruesome movie. There are some horror films that I enjoy, but I know other people that don't like seeing intestines and guts and stuff. They wanted. This one has a tinge of that, but I don't think it's enough to warrant not seeing the movie. You know what I mean? So now I'll get into the spoiler rendition of our show. If you've seen the movie, you'll probably enjoy hearing me talk about it. If you haven't seen the movie yet, like I said, if you're a horror fan, a goth person, go see it. Here's a tinge of a tip of the hat. If you like werewolves, go see it. That's why I thought it's interesting that this is coming out at the same time of our buddy there, Wolverine, and his pal Deadpool. To me, this movie, The Beast Within, is a more, I would say, true to the core of the wolf. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to Wolverine, but he's in the middle of this superhero universe, and he's palling around in a multiverse and all that crap. But this one is more like folklore and so forth, although it takes place in contemporary times. Basically, we've got this family, small family, husband, wife, and daughter. And there's also another character that I believe was the father's father, because they had the same name of Will. I don't think it was the mother's father, although she spoke to what would be her father-in-law a lot. And it seemed to be some distance between father and son. So grandpa to the little girl. The little girl actress, she's got to be 12 years old or younger, or somewhere around there. She reminded me of, if you remember the movie Your Girl with Macaulay Culkin. It introduced this young actress at the time to the world. Anna Chlumsky, I believe was her name. Well, this young actress reminds me, especially with her eyes and her hairstyle, of a young Anna Chlumsky. They look like they could be, I guess, mother and daughter, or it might even, no, Anna Chlumsky could not be a grandmother at this point. She's too young for that, I would think. I don't know. But this young actress looks very similar to Anna Chlumsky in the movie Your Girl, which shocked and amazed people at the time because it had a very surprising ending, which I won't give away in case you've never seen it. Dan Aykroyd, Macaulay Culkin, so forth. Moving forth, this young character, the daughter, basically, like I said, spoilers. I saw where this was going. I don't think it was supposed to be some big shocking surprise, but we're watching this movie and the father is moody. It kind of made me uncomfortable a few times because I hate seeing child abuse of any kind. You know, when I first see the father character, he has some scenes that I'm thinking, is this guy a child, you know, deviant? Is he a predator? Is he a physical abuser? You know, what's with this guy? He's a horrible father. And then we kind of find out, because it's a movie that, like, its big secret is not such a secret, because you can pretty much see it coming. The whole riddle of this film is that dad is a werewolf. And so by the end of this movie, it feels like this whole movie was a setup for a sequel with the daughter, who's basically, she would be a hybrid of werewolf and regular person, because her mom appears to be just a regular human being. I thought by the end of this movie, which is only about an hour and 30 or 40 minutes, I thought we might see the daughter, you know, become a werewolf as well. But I think they kind of left it like, if they're going to do that, it's going to wait for a sequel. I don't know if they would wait for the actress to get a little bit older, or what the thinking would be. It would be kind of interesting to see, like, a 12-year-old kid werewolf. You know, that would be kind of interesting. But basically, the gimmick here is the dad is struggling. And I took this whole movie, I don't know about you fine folks, I took this whole movie to be an allegory about, like, alcoholism. You know what I mean? Or something to that effect. Like, dad's a great guy except when he drinks. And in this movie, dad's a great guy except when he's a werewolf. Because there are scenes where the father is very, you know, loving and adoring to his daughter. She doesn't seem to have any friends in this movie, except maybe grandpa, who gives her a dog, a pet dog at one point. But it seems like dad is a creep, and it's like, why are you a creep, dad? Well, he's a werewolf. But in real life, in standard wolf life or non-wolf life, it would be like, oh, dad's an alcoholic, whatever the fuck. So, he's not himself, or he's the worst part of himself is when he drinks, or when he does drugs, or whatever you want to say, whatever the addiction might be. And this, the werewolf thing is like a replacement for that. That's how I took this movie. Like I said, it's uncomfortable when you see a kid, even in a film or something, being abused. That's why that movie two summers ago still haunts me. I see all these movies all the time, but the movie The Black Telephone from 2022, I've spoken about that in the review of that movie, and just in other movies it comes up. I mean, that movie is really the gold standard, as it were, for a child abuse movie. It's not condoning child abuse, obviously, but it's representing it in a scary way. Also, there was a documentary, and there's a couple of movies about this situation where in real life, like in the late 1970s, I believe, three asshole guys stole a school bus full of kids, and they buried the kids and the school bus driver underground. This is a real story, because they were trying to blackmail people to get the money. And when these asshole guys, one of them was from a rich family, by the way, when they tried to call in to collect their loot, their ransom, all the lines of the police station were busy, so they couldn't even communicate to try and pick up this ransom or whatever. But beyond all that, child abuse is a tough thing to watch in cinema. It's important to some regard, or to, because it makes you disgusted, because it upsets you. If you're a regular person, maybe you'll, be aware of it, or help out some kid if you see signs of a kid being abused. Because you see this in movies, it might inspire you to actually do something about it. In any regard, going back to this movie, I've said this also in other reviews. A lot of times with films, it's not just the movie, it's you as the audience member. What are you bringing to the theater? What's your mood? And I will just be totally, as the kids say, transparent. I was very distracted going into the theater tonight. I had a lot of things going on. Things on the phone, just communications with people were kind of twisting and turning. My sleep has been off schedule, so I wasn't really most focused. So a movie that would have probably done me right would have been like a comedy or something I had already seen. But I knew this movie was not going to be in the theaters very long, checking the apps and so forth, so I wanted to see it. And I had not seen a preview, I had not seen a commercial, I just saw the title and saw that it was horror, and I was kind of intrigued. And when the movie started, there's not a whole lot of dialogue. This is not a dialogue-heavy film. The cinematography, I thought, was fantastic. To me, a movie like this, with really great cinematography and kind of a small cast, I would rather see this type of movie than this big billion-dollar box office bonanza jerk fest Wolverine and Deadpool. Although I saw that movie and enjoyed it, I like these type of movies better, where you can tell that there's some craftsmanship. The writer-director was listed. He was the co-writer along with somebody else and directed it. I feel like this was a much personal story. I don't know what the budget was. I don't know where it was filmed. The lead actor at the end, the guy that played the father wolf, had a name that was a little bit familiar. But the other people I never saw before. And what else? I don't know. I just feel like this is kind of a shame, because a movie like this, I think, as Pan's Labyrinth, 15 or 20 years ago, launched that gentleman's career, and then, since Pan's Labyrinth, that same director has done a bunch of stuff. The Swamp Thing movie, the Way of Water, or whatever the fuck it was that won an Oscar for that guy, which I thought stunk. But I thought that guy's best movie was Pan's Labyrinth, and he's done good things and bad things since then. But I feel like, I don't know if this movie was a first-time director or not. I really don't know, with The Beast Within. But let's just say that it was, for the sake of conversation. I could see this movie being pretty much overlooked now, but if this same director goes on to make a bunch of awesome movies, people will be looking back at this one and saying, oh my God, it was all right here, we just missed it, yada yada fuck. Are we in store for sequels to this thing? I don't know. They kind of left it open-ended, like I said, for the daughter to become a wolf, I think that would be interesting. A little teenage girl or preteen werewolf or whatever the fuck. That would be kind of an interesting thing. So basically in this movie, the wife leaves her husband into the middle of the woods at night. I don't know if it's every night or just some nights, and puts a giant collar on his neck because she knows he's going to transform into the wolf. So it's like this fucked up family secret. By the time we got there, though, I knew that was the deal. So the movie is kind of filmed in this montagey type of way. They keep calling the father a monster. The little girl is getting upset. The family is really giving it to the dad, because you're supposed to just be thinking, oh, he's an abuser, so fuck dad, but yet they're not leaving him. But, I saw it pretty early on, okay, dad's a werewolf of some kind. It wasn't a shocking, the Sixth Sense surprise to me. I just felt like, everybody could see this coming. However, I still enjoyed the film. And in fact, the, shall we say, allegorical nature of the story, I feel like I probably missed a good portion of that. Just because, like I told you, I admitted my concentration was poor tonight. My head was all over the place, just different thoughts, you know what I mean? And also, I could not go the full hour and 40 minutes without a little facilities break, so I had to take a facilities break, and so forth. So I felt like, even when I was watching this movie, I'm like, I think I want to go see this one again, because I feel like I'm not giving this movie its due concentration, and I feel like it's worth it. Sometimes I see a movie and I'm not giving its due concentration, but I don't give a fuck, because it doesn't deserve it. Or maybe it does, but there's so many movies to see. This time, though, I was like, I really do feel like I'm missing out here because the cinematography is so good. I just feel like I'd like to see this again on the big screen, but I checked the schedule, folks. It's playing like this week, when the Olympics, the Wolverine, the Deadpool. We've got Aliens coming up next month. All these things are happening. So The Beast Within might be without. And like I said, I just think it's interesting that it's in the shadows of this Wolverine thing. There's a Jack Frost book, White Fang, Wolf Fang, whatever the fuck. The White Fang book is kind of referenced at the end of the movie. But I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought all the cast, the lady that played the wife, the guy that played Grandpapa, I mean, most of this movie is from the perspective of the little girl. I'm always very impressed with these kid actors who, they're like kids and they're playing all these emotions of terror and fear and fighting and another fucking spoiler, but the kid has to defend her mother against the werewolf late in the film and so forth. There was a shot, once again, spoiler, of the fucking werewolf getting put on fire, where it was clearly, it clearly looked like a goddamn suit, so maybe that's why they didn't show the werewolf the whole movie, because there was a little moment where it wasn't the most realistic fucking wolf in the world, you know what I mean? But I'm forgiving it, what the fuck. I mean, it's a werewolf. It's not supposed to be like a regular wolf anyway. So anyway, of this experience, of this film, I really have nothing against the movie. I liked it, except, the big surprise wasn't such a big surprise. I mean, maybe the title of the fucking thing, The Beast Within, tips the hat already. But I really just kind of give myself low marks as an audience member tonight, not by, purposely trying to not enjoy the movie. Why would I do such a thing? Just, I was distracted. Life was, fucking with me, and so forth. So anyway, that's your Mike's Instant Movie Review. For those of you that don't know, for the last 5 years now, I've reviewed almost every single movie, as well as like every single theatrical movie. If you look at this wonderful painting I did tonight, look at that wonderfulness. See, I didn't think I had a painting in me tonight, but I came up with one of my best pieces. Look at that. See, isn't that great? So, look at that. You see? So you're saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, isn't that fantastic? Where can we see more? Well, One Artist, Mike Messier, is my channel for all my wonderful art. Just shorts. One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan for the pro wrestling and sports fans. I did not see the UFC this past weekend. Unfortunately, it did not play in the movie theater because not enough of you people are going to the theater to watch UFC. I think I'm going to put a little... See, this is how I live, folks. I keep aftershave in my vehicle so I can kind of give myself a nice little tinge of aftershave. Even though I haven't shaven, it just feels so nice and tingly. And I just feel like I smooth my skin. What else? God, it's nice. Feels so nice. One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan for the pro wrestling and sports fans. One Artist, Mike Messier. If you dare, look at my wonderful art. MikeMessier.com. You can stand me on social, except for Facebook, no longer on. And One Man and a Camera Films for my wonderful films. So I gotta say, I gave me the nice little clap here to these wonderful people at whoever made this movie, The Beast Within. I mean, I respect the film. I like the film. The surprise wasn't so much of a surprise, but that's okay. I forgive. And I will probably, I would really like to see this again. I don't know if it's going to happen just because I'm looking at my schedule. I'm looking at the film. On Thursday, I would see it at night, but it's only playing in the afternoon. And I've just learned that I don't like seeing movies in the afternoon. I've got to see movies at night. So MikeMessier.com. It's only Tuesday. Have a wonderful week, fine folks. Subscribe, share the videos. This one.